Well, if you haven't been to South Africa, I must tell you that your life is incomplete. South Africa is the most beautiful country in the world, but now that I'm in Malaysia, I have to include Malaysia in that list.
When the people were unhappy with the way former President Jacob Zuma was running the country, we caused a national shutdown. National shutdown. But President Cyril Ramaphosa has gotten away with so much. And then you're still gonna call him Cupcake after all of that. It was funny at first, but now nothing is funny. Nothing is funny. Yes, he has a great personality, but personality is not gonna run the country.
Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's get into it. Cyril Ramaphosa is out there getting money for South Africa, but as he was doing that, you can see that Shaya out there putting out his best foot forward, charisma yonkinto, but he made some interesting confessions in his speech. Well, listen to it. He actually acknowledges that the people rejected and that the ANC has lost power. Let's take a look.
Well, if you haven't been to South Africa, I must tell you that your life is incomplete. South Africa is the most beautiful country in the world, but now that I'm in Malaysia, I have to include Malaysia in that list. So it's a real joy to be here. We've introduced democracy in our country in 1994. And democracy has grown deep roots in South Africa. We have a very strong affinity to democracy as the government, as political parties, as the people of South Africa. And in the recent elections, the people of South Africa decided that they would like the various political parties to work together. The party that I lead, the African National Congress, the ANC, had been the leader of the government since 1994 until last year, when the people of South Africa, faced with the challenges that our country has been going through in the past few years, felt that we needed to combine with other parties to form what you would call a coalition government, which Nelson Mandela dubbed a government of national unity. So in 1994, we had a government of national unity, and thereafter the ANC ruled on its own. And last year, the people of South Africa felt that we need to return to basics and have another government of national unity. So we have a government that encompasses 10 political parties. We have 18 parties in parliament, and the others are in opposition. And the government that we've put together is working extremely well. I am truly honored to be leading a government that is composed of all these parties, people who bring their own experiences, their own talent. And as a government of national unity, we identified 3 priorities that we wanted to work on. The first one is to engender economic growth and to create jobs. We have possibly the highest unemployment rate in the world, those countries that count, that have statistics, and with 32% unemployed people in our country, we are having a serious challenge. We've got 16.5 million people who work. We're a population of 62 million. So the 8 million or so people who don't work are a huge problem for us. So we felt as political parties in the government of national unity to engender economic growth and to create jobs as the first priority. And our second priority was to address poverty. Poverty is still rife in our country, and it really emanates from our past, our colonial past and our apartheid past, which in many ways engineered that there should be continued poverty. And we felt as a government of national unity that we should address this in a pointed way, but also to reduce the cost of living, because the cost of living has just been growing exponentially. And the third priority we identified was to create and to ensure that we have a capable government, a capable, ethical, and developmental state. And we're trying to enforce that and enhance that throughout the country in the various levels of our government. But more broadly, as part of that, we've embarked on a number of initiatives and interventions that are seeking to reposition the economy of our country as we reform our logistics, our ports, our roads, our electricity. You might well have read that we had a huge electricity challenge where we had outages, or what we call load shedding. That has now come to an end because the reforms that we're instituting are paying great dividends. We are also focusing on infrastructure build. We now, as a united government, investing well over R1 trillion, the very first time it has happened in the history of our country, to deploy so much money in infrastructure. And we're also focusing on improving local government, where our people live and where investments live. But the other focus area is to deal with corruption. Corruption is rife, not only in government, but also in the private sector. And we found that a number of companies have been involved with people in government to do wrong things. So we're dealing with that, and we're dealing with criminality and enforcing the rule of law. So all the important indicators are getting into place, and they are being well aligned and addressed. And South Africa now is becoming more and more positioned to be a country that is ready for growth. Our economy is going to start turning around. In fact, it is turning around. Our state-owned enterprises are also being reformed. So we are on a good path going forward and rebuilding South Africa and delivering a South Africa that many countries can deal with. We found a number of countries and companies being very interested in investing in South Africa because we are, without any doubt, the gateway into Africa. We've got, we are the most industrialized country on the African continent, and with the largest economy, and we've got one of the best financial systems, and the rule of law cuts across a number of areas of life, business, and even just when it comes to human rights. So we've got very key elements in place to make South Africa even more successful than what it is. So we are in a good place, and your investment in South Africa will just take us to a higher level.
Cupcake, cupcake. It was funny at first, but now nothing is funny. Nothing is funny. That name has infantilized him. It made you guys infantilize him. You look at him and you see a baby. Yes, he has a great personality, but personality is not going to run the country. But President Cyril Ramaphosa has gotten away with so much. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. As usual, people have their views and opinions and be spicy here and there. Those are some of the views and sentiments coming in there from social media platforms. Please do follow them on their, I'd say, their handles and the various news outlets. As you have heard, Cyril Ramaphosa summing up South Africa, showing that he understands the landscape, or whoever was writing that speech now, we have seen that his delegation that he went with to Asia got a bit of a backlash also on social media for dancing and having so much fun in there. However, it also showed that in Asia they know how to host, guys. We also saw them when they went to Japan, how they were welcomed and serenaded by their musicians, learning South African dialect and our music, and it was even the same there in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, they were well received. And also Ramaphosa laid it out. He made sure that he's getting the bag. What are your thoughts on his presentation and the points that he laid out? I'm sure everybody in there found a spot that they could invest in South Africa. Now, we also saw him making those confessions I spoke about in the beginning of the video, that the first one is the GNU. For the first time when he's speaking, well, maybe it's not the first time, let me know if you have heard him elaborate so much on the GNU and the benefits of the GNU. And then he went on to confess that the reason they even have the GNU is because the ANC failed and the people decided that you guys must get together because on your own you're doing too much, basically. And then he went on to acknowledge the unemployment rate exactly. However, he missed the opportunity there, to also acknowledge the weight that South Africa is having to lift, carrying the continent, yeah, and all those illegal immigrants that are in turn supported by South Africa. Something along those lines. He did mention that South Africa acknowledges human rights. I'm not sure where he was going with that one. It looks like they're trying to move in the right direction, but as you heard, there are also sentiments that at the moment South Africa is moving in the right direction, but Cyril Ramaphosa himself, he gets away with a lot. And in that, because we give him these nicknames, we end up not holding him accountable enough. Does he deserve to be removed? And who will replace him? I think that's the biggest issue, that should he be moved, who will replace him? Heme Mashaba, Julius Malema, as in immediately. Ronald Lamula, who? Phil Balula? Let's think about it, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for joining us on this one. Let's look out for the next video. Bye.